Ow. What do you want from me, you freak? No, 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 you better come back here! Of course. And now I'm trapped here, my scythe is inches away, but there's no way I can grab it. Well, while I have this newfound time on my hands, I guess I'll have to figure something out to keep me entertained. My options are quite limited with my hands bound. You know, right about now, talking out loud to myself doesn't sound too bad, I guess. Welcome back to Voxlblade Weaponless, where I try to beat the entire game without ever equipping my weapon. I plan on defeating every single boss solo without any help at any point from anyone. To consider this challenge complete, every single boss and dungeon must be completed solo on their default difficulty 1 non-corrupted forms. Without holding you any further, let's get started on episode 3 of Voxlblade Weaponless. Starting off, I want to quickly showcase my slow and painful grind. This grind took what felt like forever, ultimately giving me the next stage of progression. The first thing I went for was the Fireball rune, which ended up costing me 13 hours of my life. So here's a summary. Oh, yes! Holy shit! Oh my god, I got this and I clipped it. I didn't have OBS open. I have it now. Bam. We are progressed. I don't have words right now for the mental flashbang that was, but we are so back. Now that I had the Fireball rune, I felt very confident in my ability to defeat the enemies of the Floral Void Rift. Completing this rift would unlock the recall cantrip and make my life 10,000 times easier. While I'm defeating the Void Rift though, I'd like to spend this time to answer some very frequently asked questions and statements publicly to help with any of the confusion about this series. First off, this series is 100% solo. I'm only playing in a private server and will only do content alone. That's the bottom line, and it will never change. Secondly, because this series is solo only, I will not be getting boosts from other players or carried in any boss fights or world events, which almost entirely cuts out the option of the Sanguine Bolt rune, which I know a lot of you were asking me about. Third, I cannot equip my blade at any point, which means no blocking, weapon arts, or anything of the sorts that would require the weapon to be equipped. And fourth, my font is the Andy Bold font, also known as the Terraria font. There are many tutorials on how to do this online, and I personally use Blockstrap for it, so, you know, if you want to do that, yeah. If you yourself have any questions about the series, you are always welcome to leave it down in the comments section, as I check them constantly, and I will always try to get to answering it whenever I can. With that out of the way, though, the Void Rift was a cakewalk, and after cheesing it with the fireballs, I eventually got through the waves and finished the quest. After my success with the first rift, I got a little cocky and decided to go over to the swamp and attempt the second rift. And I say attempt because there was one little problem with my plan that I didn't account for. My damage wasn't high enough, nor even close to finishing the rift on time. And, you know, time is quite important when everything explodes when the timer runs out. And so, my next goal was set. I had to make my fireballs as strong and frequent as possible to maximize my DPS at all costs. To achieve this, I first ran to the volcano to pick up the Good Guy armor set, which I would both use for vanity and to fill in the pant slot I was currently missing. Good Guy gives fire boost, but does not give burn potency, which means my damage isn't as high as it could be, and I'd have to find a replacement soon enough. But on my way back to spawn, I was rudely interrupted by an Iron Slayer, so I quickly disposed of him. The next gear piece I was looking for was the caster ring for rune cooldowns. To obtain this, I was going to finish the Slay 3 Mageling quest I got at the very start of the series to avoid crafting the ring and wasting the mage core that I would need later on. Thankfully, after my miserable grind in the swamp, this was a nice and refreshing farm. The last Mageling also dropped me some Mageling pants, so I decided to craft that into Ember Mage pants to solve my previous dilemma of Good Guy not having burn potency. Later down the line, I will have to hunt down more Dragongators, but after spending so much time in the swamp, I didn't want to go back for as long as I could. My damage wasn't amazing, but it was on demand and on a short cooldown, which is exactly what I was looking for. And so after I obtained this newfound power, I decided to start going for enchants and the likes. Thankfully, nothing crazy happened during this farming session that would completely scramble my mind and make my life 100 times easier. I mean, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? I got a mysterious crown from a magical bunny. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Wait, that's you.
That's right, while in the Voxlblade Discord VC, I dropped a mysterious crown from a magical dire bunny. I was just mindlessly going for enchants to make my fire damage higher, and instead I got paid dividends. Along with that, I waited for a void moon to try and get some binded corruptions for infusing, which I will have to do soon if I want to deal some real DPS. I only got 1 from 2 void moons, with looters, so that's pretty fun. I love video games!
So it's only worth like, I want to say 4.
And of course, I had to get that mage core as mentioned earlier. I got it! I got the mage core!
Anyway.
So yeah, that's about it. I'm glad you guys have been enjoying the series and my channel, and of course, I love each and every one of you, and I hope you have just an absolutely fantastic day. While I have you here, if you haven't already, subscribing is completely free, and you can unsubscribe whenever you feel like it. It just helps me out, and we're trying to push for 1,000 subs right now, which is a number I never even considered to be possible, so thank you all for being here. I'm gonna go back to working on this series, and hopefully it goes really well. Have a great day.